With the 44th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Bol from Khartoum, Sudan, and the University of Oregon.
He's unbelievable talent.
You know, he'll just keep getting better.
One-of-a-kind type of player.
Let the guy change the game.
In 2018, 5 years before the world had ever heard the name Victor Wembenyana, there was already a 7'2" teenager walking onto a basketball court and pulling up from 26 feet like a shooting guard. He had a +6 wingspan. He could put the ball on the floor. He could step out and shoot 52% from three-point range in his one season of college basketball. Scouts didn't just call him a good prospect, they called him a basketball unicorn, a word that, years later, would become the exact word the entire world used to describe Wembenyana. His name was Bol.
Yeah, Mama, you know what your dad used to do, right?
Yes.
What I used to do?
He used to dunk over people.
But let's not forget Manute Bol. He's so tall the spotlight can hardly reach him. There is Bol for Bol.
His father was an actual 7'7" NBA legend, and in the fall of 2018, Bol was, on paper, the closest thing college basketball had ever produced to the era-defining big man we now watch dominate the NBA every single night. So why have most casual fans never heard of him? Why, instead of all-star games and MVP votes, did his story end up leading to a total collapse of his draft stock, a decade of injuries, bouncing between 3 different NBA teams, and now a contract on the other side of the world in a completely different league? That gap between the next unicorn and a cautionary tale is the whole story, and it starts on a basketball court in Kansas with a kid who was never supposed to be that tall in the first place.
Growing up, I played when I was in 4th grade, I would play up. I played with the 8th grade team, so I was actually smaller than everyone for once. So instead of being the 5, I was kind of like the point guard, kind of. So I think that just helped me develop as I started playing.
Stick around, because the turning point isn't what most people think it is. It's not a bad attitude. It's not a lack of talent. It's one single injury in one single month that changed the entire trajectory of his career before he ever played an NBA game.
Thought we played well enough, but then without Bol, without Castro, without Galinato, it was too hard. He twisted his knee the last game, so he had to sit out today. Hopefully we can get him back on Sunday, but that's a game-to-game decision.
To understand Bol, you have to start with his father. Manute Bol was one of the tallest players in NBA history, a 7'7" shot-blocking legend out of Sudan who played 10 seasons across the Bullets, Warriors, 76ers, and Heat, and who was just as famous for his humanitarian work back home as he was for his basketball career. Bol was born in Khartoum, Sudan, one of 11 children, before his family eventually settled in the Kansas City area. Growing up as Manute Bol's son meant growing up under a microscope. Every recruiting write-up, every scouting report mentioned his father in the first sentence. The name alone created a level of hype that most high schoolers never have to deal with. But here's the thing, Bol didn't just live off the name, he backed it up. Bol's high school journey took him through 4 different schools: Blue Valley Northwest, Bishop Miege, Mater Dei in California, and finally Findlay Prep in Nevada, one of the most powerful basketball factories in the country. Along the way, he helped Bishop Miege win a Kansas State championship. He earned McDonald's All-American honors.
At what point are you getting kind of famous?
Sophomore year. That's when I was kind of already a little famous. I had my little videos, but when I went to Mater Dei, that's when it became more wide. Everybody knew who I was.
By the time his senior year ended, recruiting services had him rated as a consensus 5-star prospect, ranked as high as the 4th best player in the entire class of 2018, a class that included future NBA players like Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Ja Morant. What made Bol different from every other 7-footer in high school basketball wasn't just his height, it was that he didn't play like a traditional center. He put the ball on the floor, he shot from deep. He blocked shots on the other end like his father did a generation earlier. Scouts weren't comparing him to plodding low-post bigs. They were comparing him to nobody, because nobody had really seen a skill set like that in a player his size.
I realized I want to go to Oregon. It was probably 2 weeks after my visit. But before that, I never really thought I'd be interested in going there. What made me want to go there, everything's really nice, and they have the best equipment and just getting me ready. I feel like they have everything I need.
He committed to Oregon, and the hype train only got bigger. Bol Bol's freshman season at Oregon started exactly the way everyone expected. In his very first 2 games, he became the first freshman in Oregon history to open a career with back-to-back double-doubles. He dropped a season-high 32 points and 11 rebounds against Texas Southern. He was putting up video game numbers: 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks in one outing, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks in another. By the time his 9th game rolled around, Bol Bol was averaging 21 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 2.7 blocks a night, while shooting an absurd 52% from three-point range. He was leading Oregon in scoring, rebounding, and blocks as a true freshman. Mock drafts had him going as high as top 5 overall. Some had him in the conversation for the very top of the draft. And then, in December of 2018, it all stopped. Bol Bol suffered what was first reported as an ankle injury, then revealed to be something far more serious: a navicular stress fracture in his left foot. It's one of the most feared injuries in basketball, a small bone in the midfoot that, when it breaks down, has ended or derailed the careers of NBA big men before, from Yao Ming to Zydrunas Ilgauskas to, at the time, an up-and-coming Joel Embiid. He underwent surgery. 2 screws were inserted into the bone, along with a bone graft from his own pelvis to speed up healing. He was told he'd be on crutches for up to 10 weeks. His season and his college career was over after just 9 games. Bol Bol never played another game for Oregon. He declared for the NBA draft while still rehabbing an injury that, historically, teams do not take lightly in 7-footers. On draft night in June of 2019, the basketball world watched something almost unheard of happen in real time. Bol Bol, a player who had been mocked as high as a top 5, top 10 selection just months earlier, sat in the green room and watched pick after pick go by without hearing his name. Player after player less talented on paper got selected ahead of him. The fall wasn't a small stumble. It was one of the most dramatic draft slides in recent NBA memory. He didn't go in the lottery. He didn't go in the back half of the first round. Bol Bol fell all the way to the second round, the 44th overall pick, where the Denver Nuggets scooped him up as what many analysts called one of the biggest draft night value heists in years.
You mentioned his skill. He's over 7 feet tall, but he barely weighs 205 pounds.
I got here and Bol said the wait is over. So how does it feel to walk across the stage?
I've been dreaming this for my whole life, and it feels pretty good.
On paper, it looked like a steal for Denver. In reality, it was the first domino in a career that would never quite escape the shadow of that 1 foot injury. He spent 3 seasons with the Denver Nuggets, buried on a deep roster and in the G League, trying to prove his body could hold up over an NBA season. He was eventually traded to the Orlando Magic, then landed with the Phoenix Suns, bouncing across 3 franchises in what should have been the prime years of his career. Across 6 NBA seasons and 202 total appearances, Bol Bol averaged 6.2 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 0.8 blocks a game in just under 14 minutes a night. Flashes of the Oregon version of him would show up: a stretch of efficient shooting, a highlight reel block, a game where the size and skill combination looked exactly like the unicorn scouts once promised. But the consistency, the minutes, the trust from coaching staffs, none of it ever fully arrived. By the summer of 2025, Bol Bol was a free agent, and NBA interest had dried up. At 26 years old, in what should still be a big man's athletic prime, he had no NBA offers on the table. In 2026, Bol Bol signed with TNT Tropang 5G of the Philippine Basketball Association, continuing his career on the other side of the world in a completely different basketball ecosystem than the one he was projected to dominate as a teenager. And that's really the gut punch of this whole story. Right now, as you're watching this, Victor Wembenyana is doing exactly what scouts once dreamed Bol Bol would do, stretching the floor, blocking shots at an elite rate, doing things at 7'4" that shouldn't be physically possible, and building a case as a generational, franchise-altering talent. Bol Bol had that exact profile first: the shooting touch, the shot-blocking bloodline, the unicorn label. He had it before almost anyone in basketball was using that word for a player his size. The difference wasn't the talent, it was health, opportunity, and one navicular bone that broke down at exactly the wrong moment in exactly the wrong month, right as the whole league was about to fall in love with him. So was Bol Bol really Wemby before Wemby? Watch the Oregon tape. Watch a 7'2" freshman pull up from 3 like a guard, block a shot on the other end, and do it with the same fluidity scouts now praise in Victor Wembenyana. The tools were identical, the timing and the health were not. Bol Bol's story isn't really about a bust. It's about what happens when generational talent runs into the single cruelest variable in professional sports: your body simply not cooperating at the exact moment the world is watching closest. If you think there's another prospect whose story got derailed like this one, drop it in the comments. I want to hear it. And if you want more deep dives on the what-if stories college and NBA basketball never got to finish, subscribe, because we're just getting started.